A slim 1-0 victory for the Super Falcons in the final qualifying round of the Olympics. And of course, it was a victory over Banyana. That's how we start the show tonight. I'm Yemi Adebayo. And of course, what I've just said will take a lot of our time. We'll be doing a post-mortem of that game. We expected more goals than we had, but it's still a victory. Whether or not it will be enough to see the Super Falcons cross the line, we will wait to see. And of course, the English Premier League will be in focus. We'll also look at the Nigeria Premier Football League. That's the outlook of the show tonight. We urge you to sit back, relax, as we take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. It's a two-man show. My colleague Austin Okonakpan is suited and ready. And of course, we're taking this ride together.
Spotted greetings to you, Yemi, and of course everyone joining us on the show tonight. As always, action-packed world of sports in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. What a story for the Super Falcons. Well-taken penalty by Rasheedat Ajibade to give Nigeria that slim lead as they head into the second leg fixture in South Africa. Yemi, yesterday I was hoping for 3-0. I said either 3-1 or 4-1 would be just enough. The Super Falcons got just 1-0. It's not yet over. Let's wait and see what they can do in the second leg. All right, we'll wait to see what they can do. And to join us in having this robust conversation, Damilola Onifade is with us. Damilola, greetings to you. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show tonight.
Yemi, always a pleasure to be here. And such a day that Nigeria played well with South Africa, the kind of result you don't even know whether to celebrate or just hold your breath for a minute. But it is what it is. It's a result that is better than a loss, and is still better than a score
Still better
draw.
than a draw.
Yeah, a score draw particularly.
Especially because of the way it goes.
Yeah.
You said something that, while we're off camera, that I'm still trying to grapple with. That you're quite worried that we didn't score an open play.
Yeah.
That is just 1-0.
Yes.
And we have to go to South Africa to both defend and score. You have to score.
You have to
South Africa will score.
We're most likely.
So you just have to score.
You just have to score.
Defend and attack at the same time.
At the same time.
It makes the job a bit difficult.
And the possibility that you're going to get a penalty call become a bit slimmer.
They might get
because they are at home. Whether we like it or not, this is still African football. There is still a little bit, even if it's a 1%,
still there.
Home advantage is still there. There is also the pressure that there is every likelihood that you have more fans in the stadium, and 99.5% of them are for South Africa, not even Nigeria. And so there are a lot of things that would not work in our favor when we get to South Africa. The only thing we'll hope for is that our women will have their best game, better than they did today in South Africa. It's going to be difficult, but it is not impossible. It won't be the first time we're beating South Africa. And I also believe, forget the fact that they're African champions, even if we still win in South Africa, nobody will still consider it an upset. Nobody will do. So the gap has shrunk in recent time, but I still believe that we have the talent to do it. I'm not so encouraged by today's game, but I want to take my courage from what we've done before today. And hopefully that will work for us.
Yeah, we're taking solace from the fact that, look, the gap may have decreased, it might have reduced, but still, the Super Falcons are a powerhouse in women's football. So, Austin, what's your take? I'm particularly worried. I must be honest, and I think our viewers will forgive me if I'm sounding a bit partisan. I'm Nigerian. I mean, that explains it. A 1-0 scoreline is just like biscuit. It could crack anywhere.
You know, and my journalist friend in South Africa, he cracked a very expensive joke. I said, well, it's not the first time we'll come to South Africa to beat the Bayana. And he said, well, tell me about it when Patrice Motsepe is in the CAF president, you know. Wow. And so I see where you're going with that. But yeah, I totally agree that the result can still go anywhere. And whether we like it or not, let's be realistic, it's not advantage South Africa, because I know they will have a better crowd than what I saw today at the MK Abiola Stadium. I know they will be in a better mindset ahead of that second leg encounter. Today they showed some level of brilliance. I think that a good attempt. Chiamaka Nadozie came to the rescue for Nigeria. So they did not even come today to say, oh, let's try and make it tight for Nigeria. They played an open game, you know, and that was them trying to even see how they could get a win away from home from the first leg, you know. So it's going to be tough. The Super Falcons need to do better. I don't like how they prepared for this one, but just because the game was already here, we were focusing on the positives. This is what we always talk about when you have a national team assignment of this sort of importance. How you prepare matters, you know. The level of attention to details you give to that assignment matters. Because as I always say, you start winning off the pitch before you get on the pitch, you know. I think Assistant Oshola got in yesterday, or I think 2 days ago, and we didn't hear much about them, you know, preparing for this one big time. Coach Randy Wardrum, of course, all the everyday managers will speak well of their team, talk about the quality in the team and expect them to go out there to do it. But football is getting out of the quality of legs you have that can run, that kick the ball, and that can, you know, score amazing goals. It's 90% mental. What's the mental state of your team going to sort of competition, knowing that they are chasing a ticket that they haven't gotten for decades? You know, that puts pressure on the team, and you want them to approach it the way that you want somebody to approach it that really wants it. They didn't do that. So that's why we got this sort of result. Forget about the fact that the gap is closing up in women's football in Africa. The Super Falcons, they need attention. They're like that beautiful bride that just needs some touch here and there before she comes out to the crowd to look for her husband, you know. So I just think we need to invest more. We need to give this team more attention. We need to pay more attention to details. Listen to the players. Let them say what they really want. Don't go by the fact that, oh, because they are currently ranked top in Africa, and if they meet these teams, they can just, you know, find a way to run over them. That is not happening. See how we struggled against Cameroon. Look at today's game. I wanted goals. It didn't come. I didn't even see clear enough chances to make it 2-0. So, I agree with you. Anything can happen. This result can crack. It can go anywhere. And I want to stand by my friend's words. You're going to Patrice Motsepe's country.
All right. And I mean, it's hard to imagine that the last time the ladies were at the Olympics was in Beijing. And yeah, I'm just hoping it doesn't happen. Well, we can be forgiven if we are sounding as if it was only the Super Falcons that were in action today. I know that two other teams were in action. So let me just quickly go across and talk about what happened. And we've been talking about it, but here's a confirmation right there on the screen, all for you. The Super Falcons of Nigeria, courtesy of a goal from the penalty spot, Rasheedat Ajibade, in the 9 minutes of the first half, a 1-0 victory over Banyana, the first leg. Then we have Zambia and Morocco, the Lionesses, I mean, becoming a force to reckon with on the African continent. We'll find some time to talk about Zambia, but this game still on my mind. I mean, Damilola, as I take my seat, what can be done? You know, I don't want to start talking about administration, and Austin didn't want to go there, you know, because let's focus on the game. But now the game is what we can talk about. That's the only thing we can talk about. What can be done differently? What can be done?
The chances of being at Paris 2024 is now left with Waldron and the players. And that's the only thing we can do. That's the only thing we can control at this time. We can only hope that whatever plan Waldron had will work. Mm-hmm. We can only hope that the players will be in the right position, the right frame of mind to execute whatever plan he prepares for the game. The good thing is they play South Africa, so they have an idea of what to expect. At the barest minimum, you expect that this South African team will play a lot more purposeful football, for attacking football, when they get back to Pretoria. Mm-hmm. If they're a bit conservative today, it's because they don't want a heavy bashing going back to South Africa. Out there, they have nothing to lose. They are going, yes, it's slim, but it's a deficit. And until they score, it's advantage Nigeria. Until they score in Pretoria. I mean, a game that has not been played cannot be won and lost. And that's the mindset. So they are coming at you. The question is, can we stop them from scoring? And you seem so confident that South Africa will score.
They will score.
So can you stop them from scoring? So that's the first plan. The second plan is you also must make effort to score. If there is any advantage in this result at all, is the fact that we did not concede. So any goal from us put us as even a bigger advantage than South Africa is at the moment. And hopefully before we get our first goal, they've not scored 3. So if you can take that out, that's the only way. To start talking about administration, training, how to prepare for the game, I think it's too late in the day. I said somewhere today, I said, the usual thing, all we can do now is to pray. You can't prepare again, it's too late.
It's too late. I mean, do we always have to do things the hard way? If we qualify, we're going to do it the hard way. If we had scored 3 or 4 goals today, we'll have done it the easy way. I mean, we have to get the combinations right. We have to get the player combination right. We have to get the attitude right, tactics right. A little bit of luck, because you also need it. Maybe some 50-50 calls going your way and all that. So whatever happens is not going to be easy, but I still believe South Africans will score. That's where I stand. They will score. So the Super Falcons are condemned, not just only to defend, they must score. A goal for us means, well, I'm under the assumption that the away goals rule still exists. CAF has not told us that it has been changed. So I'm under the assumption that it's there. A goal for us means they have to score 3. Maybe that's the only advantage, just like Damilola said. But must this always be done the hard way?
You know, I mean, with women's football, you never say never. I like the level of competition we're seeing. I like that you're saying South Africa will score. Do we have that sort of confidence to say the Super Falcons will score? As I said earlier, the South Africans came out today to even attack. They came out to play offensive football. They came out to put pressure on the Super Falcons. That's saying right there that we're not going to respect you. We know that if we sit back, you guys will punish us, you know. And shout out to Chinwendu Ezo. She came into the game and she put a lot of pressure on the South African defense. She had brilliant runs here and there, but they weren't just finishing properly due to the composure of the South African team. Now, what I know for sure that will help South Africa is they will learn from their mistakes. That's why sometimes over 2 legs, I always want to play the last game at home whenever it has to do with Nigeria, you know. But Super Falcons have shown that they can go away and score goals, sometimes even punish you when you least expect. But what we've seen recently, it's not been easy. We saw it against Cameroon. They can say, oh, they were robbed against Cameroon. Yeah, but we saw it even against smaller teams. They go away from home and they struggle. That's because of the level of preparation, as I said earlier, that they're not getting. Coach Randy Waldron must find a way to flip it. In the second leg, they must own the game. They must be in control. They shouldn't let South Africa express themselves, because the moment they start expressing themselves and the crowd behind them, then it will be tough for the Super Falcons. They should be very careful. When I say be careful, don't go on the rash tackles. Don't jump on players anyhow, because the referee will also be under pressure. And the moment he's under pressure, he will start dishing out the cards. So much must go for the Super Falcons in terms of playing purpose-driven football, in the sense that you go out there and play like it's not 1-0. Just go out there and see like a scoreless draw in the first leg and you want to win 2-0. And if they can do that, the pressure will be on South Africa. I watched Zambia today against Morocco. Everybody will come out and praise Morocco, but I love the guts that Zambia seem to be showing. And that's why I'm not even ruling them out, because they might just do the unthinkable in the second leg because of how they played today. That's the sort of conviction that I wanted to see from the Super Falcons today. Some way, somehow, they didn't just express themselves the way they should have, particularly because we've emphasized that you're looking for a ticket to the Olympics. You've not been to the Olympics since 2008. Now, this is your opportunity to just break that jinx, particularly that we've got players now that if they miss out of the Olympics, some of them might not have a chance to go for it again. So that said, Yemi, everything is in the second leg. Let's approach that second leg like nothing has happened today, that it's a game of just one leg, and who gets to win it picks the ticket to the Olympics. It's going to be very tough. Expect South Africans to be hostile. You know how it is now. South Africans are trying to become what Ghana is to Nigeria when you talk about football in general. But I know the Super Falcons, they won't crack when they are under mad pressure. It is when they are underrating their opponents, that's when they make mistakes. So if they go there and say, we understand all of the gimmicks, all of the game plan that these people will bring, and we are ready for it, then they will come out victorious.
I hope so. I mean, let me allow them to have the last say on this one. If there's anything that I could say that could maybe a glimmer of hope, is that I saw the ladies, especially at the World Cup, defend against teams who, well, it was like a siege against them for 90 minutes. There was even a particular game, a player was red carded, and they were still able to keep it together. On the strength of that, I could say defensively, but, you know, it still begs the question, just like Austin said, am I confident to say on the strength of what I saw today, they can get a goal in open play, because you're surely not going to get a penalty against the home team?
If you use the World Cup as a basis for what these Super Falcons might be able to do, you most likely win a bet if you bet against conceding than betting against scoring.
Yeah.
Because even at the World Cup, what we saw is a team with solid defending, but then that hampered them going forward. And so if we can put that together again, maybe we just might play a goal extra, and that will still give us the advantage. It's going to be difficult, no doubt about it. But again, I still believe that it's not impossible. It's about the mindset. The South Africans are going to come with the mindset that we must win. Are we going to have the same mindset? Like Austin said, the best mindset to go into this game is to give the South Africans something to worry about. The South Africans must have this concern that when they come forward and you get the ball from them, they are in trouble. But if you get the ball from them and they are comfortable, the siege continues. And can you do that with a crowd behind them for 90 minutes?
You can't.
I mean, that's going to be a struggle.
It will
be a struggle.
All right, let's leave it at that and move on the show. Let's talk about the Nigeria Premier Football League matches to be played over the weekend. Let's quickly take a look at those matches on Saturday and on Sunday. I'll just quickly go across and talk about, but Damilola, before we get those things on screen, you have interesting games. Kano Pillars, Shooting Stars, for instance, and maybe I'll just go across, talk about it, and allow Damilola and talk about it. Okay, this is what I was referring to. On Saturday, Plateau United and Doma United, Remo Stars up against Aqua United. I mean, what else can we say about Aqua United? It looks like a nightmare, a dream some of their fans are yet to wake up from. So these matches will be played on Saturday. Then on Sunday, let's look at what's going to happen on Sunday. Quite a number of matches to be played on Sunday. And very sure it's going to pop up. There you have it. Heartland up against Sporting Lagos. Kano Pillars up against Shooting Stars. This one surely should get us talking. Casino United up against the Flying Antelopes. That's at Enugu Rangers. Kwara United up against Bendel Insurance. These are some of the matches to be played. Lobby Stars will be up against the Aba Elephants. That's Ayimba. Niger Tornadoes will be slugging it out with Gombe United. Then you have Sunshine Stars up against Bayelsa United. Austin, these are very interesting fixtures to look at. I mean, what's your take? What do you expect from these matches?
Lobby Stars, Ayimba, that one should really get us talking. I just hope that Ayimba will take their firepower to Lobby Stars and then give us something to talk about, because I've called Lobby Stars the most consistent team. At some point it was Kano Pillars, but Lobby Stars, they seem to just know how to win when they need to win. Very important. They know how to win when they need to win. And that's why even with their bad results away from home, they've been able to still stay. They've not dropped beyond the top 4 from the time they got to the top of the league table. Now they are tied on same points, 48, with Ayimba. Eimba, they're second. Lobby Stars, they are third. Eimba crushed, destroyed, punished, humiliated Kano Pillars, gave them their heaviest defeat. Simon Sugida, their heaviest defeat was in 2002 when Julius Berger was still playing league football in Nigeria. Eimba punished them. That's so much disrespect. That's the sort of form they want to take to play Lobby Stars. Now, Lobby Stars just need some composure. In this sort of games, you just hear that they win it 1-0, 2-1. They know how to do that a lot. So I want to see what Eimba can do. Show us that you are the team to be respected. Show us you are that team that wants to, show some level of consistency. I've not been talking about Aqua United, but I want to see what they can do against Remo. You're fighting relegation. Remo, they're a very decent side. Also looking for the title. Can Aqua United do the unthinkable? Can they get us talking? They've gone away to win when we least expected that they will. Now they have Remo Stars again. Can they give us something to talk about? The Promise Keepers, they've been woeful this season. They've been shambolic, particularly getting results when they need it. So let's see what they can do against Remo Stars. Doma United, after beating Aqua United to record their second away win of the season, I started looking at them again because I like the vibes. I like the things they're saying. Now they're going to play Plateau United. That's one team that's also been decent. Let's see what they can do at the New Just Stadium. Remember, Aqua United went there with their crowd. Aqua United stunned Plateau United 2-1. Can Doma United look at that story and see what they can get? It's the MPFL for you, where anything, just about anything can happen. Kano Pillars, they will host your darling 3SC. Will they release the Dragons on 3SC because of what happened against Eimba? So much to talk about. So those are the games I'm looking forward to. Pressure on Lobby Stars, pressure on Eimba, pressure on Rangers, and of course, Remo Stars to deliver the goods, Yemi.
Yeah, that's it. All right, let's leave it at that for now. We'll go on a break. When we return from that break, Damilala Alifade is still with us. He'll be giving us his take on the matches to be played. Of course, we look at what's happening in the English Premier League. Let's go for that break and come back for more on Sports Tonight. Welcome back. We're talking about the Nigeria Premier Football League, and Austin has been talking about March the 29th, the things to expect. Damlola, let me just quickly come to you. I mean, your pick. I'm talking about Pillars, Shooting Stars, based on the history of those teams, those two teams. But which other games, catches your fancy?
Yeah, I think for me that's the topic. That's the topic. Kano Pillars, Shooting Stars, because of their recent results. Shooting Stars seems to be back into some decent form, and they're popping up the table. You want to see how Kano Pillars will react to the humiliation they suffered on Wednesday. I don't care whatever excuse you want to give for that. They came to the stadium a few hours to the match, few hours to the game. Yeah, those will count, but at the end of the day, they left there with 5-0 bashing. And they must react, particularly when they are playing in Kano. You don't want to play, if you're a Kano Pillars player, you don't want to play in Kano on Sunday, and then you do not win. You won't like you won't like the reaction of the fans. I'm not talking about crowd trouble now, don't get me wrong, but of course the crowd, they will express themselves.
Yeah, they're demanding.
They will express themselves, and I think that makes that game a top pick for me. And I think these are some of the games as well that the MPFL must try. We must. I mean, you could see the way they're counting down to Man U Chelsea yesterday, the way we're counting down to Man U Liverpool this Sunday. These are the kind of games we must highlight and build the weekend games around because of the history, the tradition.
Make it easy for us to see the game.
There's a lot of head-to-heads you can look forward to.
Statistics.
And there are a lot of former players that are also still alive that you can, create some content around in terms of previous games. Because if you must sell this league, it is the content that you have that you first sell. It's not just the fixtures. It's the story behind those fixtures that you have to sell, and that is important.
Somebody told me, just because you're talking about the English Premier League, somebody told me just a commentary alone, if you were sleeping, you will wake up.
You wake up.
It doesn't matter if it's Brighton and Nottingham.
And that kind of commentary you don't get to hear anywhere else. So they've built a brand around it. There's a way they want to sound.
There's a way they want things to look like.
There's a way they want their matches to look look, that's why in the EPL you find out that most of their venues, the crowd are like they're coming into the pitch. You don't see that in every league. It was intentional, so that the players who feel the vibe, those at home feels it as well. So what exactly do we want to create around our league to make it unique? That's the story we have to tell.
That's what we have to start thinking about. All right, let's talk about Rivers United as they prepare for the second leg of their CAF Confederation Cup quarterfinal fixture, the second leg against USM Alger. And, of course, the first leg ended 1-0 in favor of Rivers. Here is another scenario of wanting more, getting a little, now going to... again, I mean, just for our viewers who probably didn't see the result, and I like the way our producer put it, advantage Rivers United. But because it's a North African team, some of us would love to see this after the game, not before. But whichever way you look at it, it's still advantage Rivers United. And until that goal comes in, until something changes, if it heads this way, it's still advantage Rivers United.
If it ends this way, Rivers United will qualify to the semi-final for the first time. I understand the concern, and I have it as well, and it's just logical. Don't forget that everything that worked against USM Algiers last week will most likely work in their favor this time. They were away from home, now they're playing at home. That game had to be shifted to play at 2 p.m. for bulk of players that were fasting. This second leg will start at 10 p.m. When they will have broken their fast and they're in a better physical shape to play football and come at you. They will also have the crowd, which Rivers United really didn't even have as an advantage.
The weather will also be in their favor.
The weather will also be in their favor.
Probably against our boys.
Very high temperature of 2 p.m. is not there. So a lot of things will work for them that might likely work against Rivers United. But again, like you said, until that goal is scored, it's still advantage Rivers United. Can they survive the onslaught? I don't know. And I will not dare to make a prediction. But I tell you that this is a game where Rivers United have to take it in phases. The first phase of this game is you must not concede the first 45 minutes.
Yes.
And then you can break the second half into every 10 minutes and decide what you do per 10 minutes towards the end of the game. They must be measured. It's not a game where you deceive yourself that you want to go for a second goal. You must first study the mood, what your opponent are throwing at you, and then you react to it. I hope they have enough plan of when USM does this, how do we react? When they move this way, how do we react? That's what is important.
Be ready for anything. All right, I'm worried. I don't know if Austin is, but I'm worried. At some point, we have to break this, should I call it a jinx? It's becoming a hoodoo. Anytime we're playing against North African teams, some of us have already conceded in our minds. It shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, I'm worried, you know, and I've always been worried with Rivers United and the way they travel. Just listen to all of the things that Damilola Onifade mentioned that will already work for USM Algiers. The timing of the match, them ensuring that it's going to be at night means that they will have more fans at the stadium. The weather will be fantastic. You see, they're already winning, you know, and they've got good infrastructure. So it means they will play under the floodlights, and they are used to it. That was what I was trying to tell Coach Stanley Aguma, you know, when I spoke to him on this show last week, that, look, these guys have been doing well in the league, and most of their games are played in the night. So they know how to execute this sort of mission. What I want to say to Rivers United is, when you play knockout games, and it's the second leg, why are you playing it like you have another chance to go and play? Maybe you think you will top the group or something. Come out there and play football. This is your last chance. You had an opportunity to do it in Uyo. You scored one. If you want to defend that goal properly, defend it properly. Don't make mistakes. Ensure that it ends goalless and you are through. If you know that you're going to be open, the fact that you're now open, come out and play offensive football. Make good use of your opportunities. Don't create chances and waste them. Avoid mistakes. Avoid mistakes. They still made a lot of mistakes in that first game, but USM Algiers somehow went their best to just punish them. When you have the ball, make good use of it. If you're a defender and you do not know how to pick a player that is nearby, send it out and then you refresh again. That's just not a problem with Rivers United, you know. if they can do these things, there is no way North African teams will be beating them. Dreams FC just showed us how to beat Club Africain. These guys can be beaten because they will always be on the offensive. And one thing about offensive play is that when you make errors, you get punished. Not like you now get the ball, you're not taking it back. Football is forward ever. You cannot get an opportunity to strike at your opponent. Now you have the ball and you're going back to goalkeeper. No, take the pressure to them. That's what they are doing to you. So when you have the ball, do the same thing. But because we are not effective. Now, Rivers United, when they get the ball, sometimes I understand so much pressure and they want to find the man that is up there through the long ball. But then you punish him also because he's running too much now and he's going to get gassed out. So they need to calm down and play the game like they own it because it's advantage Rivers United. They had, I said it on the show 2 days ago, they had over 40 shots off target and 10 on target and scored just one. And you scored in the 10th minute. It means if you were that good with the ball and you were creating chances, you could have found ways to score more goals. So whatever made them play the way they did in Uyo, because I called some of the players that I'm close to, and I said Uyo is like a neutral ground to you guys. So when you go to Algeria, approach the game the same way. You guys don't own the Godswill Akpabio Stadium. You play in Port Harcourt. So see the same way that if you can beat these guys 1-0 in Uyo, you can beat them 1-0, even 2-0 in Port Harcourt, in Algeria. That's the mentality that this team they need to have because Rivers United, they've got good players. They've got players, and they showed us when they needed to beat Dreams FC away. And they did that convincingly 3-1. So what is stopping them now that you know if you beat these guys, it's off to the semifinals. It's more money for you. Players will get more exposure, more likely going to even sign good contracts. So it's win-win for everybody. Execution matters.
Yeah, it does. It does. All right, let's switch gears now and talk about the English Premier League. That's our next port of call. But before we do that, let's talk about the mild drama that played out yesterday in the English Premier League. We're not going to waste too much time. But, of course, Chelsea getting the better of Manchester United ended 4-3. And, of course, okay, maybe I should just do this quickly since my producer wants me to do that. Saturday fixtures, Crystal Palace will take on Manchester City. Aston Villa will take on Brentford. Everton will take on Burnley. Fulham will take on Newcastle United. These matches will be played tomorrow. That's Saturday. Let's look at the other matches that will be played. Still on Saturday, Luton Town up against Bournemouth. Wolverhampton Wanderers against West Ham United. Brighton and Arsenal. These matches will be played tomorrow. Then, of course, on Sunday, Manchester United and Liverpool easily the pick of the bunch. Sheffield United up against Chelsea. Then, of course, Tottenham Hotspur will be slugging it out with Nottingham Forest. These are the matches. Maybe we quickly say a word about what you saw yesterday. We're going to listen to the managers in a bit, but a lot of people have said it's sort of anticlimax. You're used to seeing Chelsea and Manchester United fight for the title, but a lot of people didn't understand where they were seeing those two clubs yesterday.
For neutrals, it was a good match to watch. Loads of goals, brilliance at different stages of the game. But then, for me, that game also shows you why the two teams are where they are on the table. How you score 2 goals and then concede 2, go 3-2 up, and then in the 100th minute, and then you still concede equalizer, and then, I mean, no win championship team should be conceding goals the way both teams consider. I don't care who won. The most important thing is that both of them didn't show the character that has propelled the Man City, the Liverpool, and even Arsenal to where they are on the table.
All right, let's listen to Mauricio Pochettino speaking after the game. Then we come back to talk about the games that we play tomorrow.
No, I think it was amazing because overall I think we deserved. We were better team today. And was fair score on the last minute. I think if you see everything, I think we start really well the game. 2-0 for us the game was under control, and then we made a mistake, and I think we suffered a big impact, emotional impact that wasn't easy to deal with this. But in the second half again, we controlled the game, and we conceded in transition, and of course disappointed in the way that we conceded 3 goals, because I think we should be better in this type of situation. But I think if you analyze the game, I think fair result, 3 points for us, and I think important on the end to finish in the way that we finish.
What most frustrates, of course that frustrates the most, when we started the game poor, making individual errors, but by that moment already I had the feeling we are dominating the game, and we fought ourselves back into the game. We make ourselves in a winning position by, I think, very good football. I would even say sometimes brilliant football, scoring great goals. And then in stoppage time, we didn't manage it, and we didn't bring the win over the line, and of course that's frustrating. I think, as I just said, we dominated the game, and I think especially our wide players were a danger. Garnacho, Anthony, he was very good. I said it already before. The last weeks he's progressing. You see it in training. You see it when he came on against Liverpool, also against Brentford. He's stepping up. He is understanding the message, and he's progressing. So yeah, we are pleased with that.
I usually don't disagree with managers, but on this one I disagree. A lot of the things he said, I was shaking my head. Rashford is progressing. Did I hear him right?
Yes, I mean, what else do you expect? What else do you expect from a troubled manager? This guy has come to tell us when we had played just 10 matches in the season, that his major objective is to change the culture at Manchester United and correct some of the wrong things that have been happening. So it's beyond football on the pitch that Erik ten Hag is dealing with. I heard him praising Rashford. Yes, he has to, because if you who is the better striker than Rashford at Manchester United? It is the tools that you've got that you will use. So he has to put them in the right state of mind. What happened at Chelsea yesterday was for football. I keep telling you guys, just as what I said about Rivers United going to USM Algiers, if you play open football, if you're offensive, just anything that you see, you take it. Even if they score you 3 goals with 2 minutes to go, take it, because you're playing open football. That was why Jose Pizarro went to the AFCON and locked shop. And when he gets an opportunity, beats you 1-0, 2-0. But that's competition mode. This is league where you think that, oh, you're doing just fine. United thought they were doing just fine. Nobody can fault them. Can't you remember, Yemi, that I was about singing songs with good lyrics before we ended the show yesterday, when Anthony gave that scissors pass and Garnacho finished? I was like, wow. I was about singing a beautiful song on TV. And I remember Bolu saying, hopefully we'll see more goals. And you guys saw 3 more goals under 5 minutes. That's football for you, where anything can happen. So I don't blame Ten Hag. He needs to keep praising his teams. He needs to keep, sounding positive in the media, because the press knows how to put words into your mouth, and the guy still wants to keep his job. They still believe that they can finish in a place for Europe. And it's very possible. If you go take a look at the league table, somebody that is really worried about their own destiny not being in their hands is Pep Guardiola. And when Pep Guardiola is talking, you got to be careful, because after that goalless draw against Arsenal, he came out, he was very angry, he started speaking in tongues, and then after they defeated Aston Villa by 4-1, now he's calm. He was full of praise for Phil Foden. They have a tricky game against Crystal Palace, and this time he's saying that they can only control the destiny that's in their hands. Let's listen to Pep on the show tonight.
The quality of the opponents, right? It's where it is. So that's why we have to keep going, and at the end we will see that, or we'll realize that the team was there. That's for sure. Doesn't solve the problem if we don't do our job. So we have to win the 8 games left and wait. So we were top of the league. We will be in our hands. It's not that case. So what you have to do is win our games. And if it's happened, it's better. I hope so. But we cannot control it. So we control our destiny in our games. That's all.
Yeah, Crystal Palace, out of their last 5 matches, they've managed to get just 1 win. I think about 2 losses and then 2 draws. For Manchester City, there's been 3 wins and 2 draws. But Damilola, each time you look at Manchester City, it is when you think that they cannot do it that they now go on to do it.
Austin, it's when you think they can't that, particularly at this time of the season, I say that the kind of run Man City usually has at the end of the season, that cannot just be put down to the talent in the team. It has a lot to do with their character, with their mindset, with what the coach has built into the team, that at this point we can't fail. And like I said, all they need to do is to keep winning. Whether Liverpool loses or not is not in their hands, so they just have to keep winning. Because if they don't win, and even Liverpool loses, they still might not go top. So the most important thing is to keep winning. And I think that's the character that he has built into that team. They are not getting bothered by what their opponents are doing. They just can go ahead and beat what is in front of them. And if you're Man City, you will definitely be confident that you can beat. Because who is that team in the EPL that Man City has not dealt with? You understand? So you must have the belief that we can do it and we'll get it done. He has the players. The players believe in the coach. When he asks them to do this, they do it. If he had failed against Aston Villa on Wednesday, a lot of things would have been said about Pep resting his key players. But without the key players, they make Aston Villa a top 4 team at the moment look as if they are struggling on the table. And that's the capacity that is in that team. And I think the belief is all they can hold on to at this point. All right, the belief is all they can hold on to. I really wish we had more time, but of course, our party shot on the show tonight will be about, of course, the boxing legend Muhammad Ali. I want to talk about him a little. The shots won by Muhammad Ali in his legendary thriller in Manila. That boxing bout with Joe Frazier, of course, is up for grabs at in New York as part of a growing sports memorabilia market hired by auction houses. We don't know how much it will go for, but they say it could cost between 4 to 6 million. That's what people are talking about. So, Damilola, as we go, I don't understand why this thing costs this much, but then it's Muhammad Ali. Yeah, well, you just said it. It's Muhammad Ali. That's why it's something that a lot of people want to have their hands on. And because it's an auction, I mean, loads of figures will be flying around until you get to a point where nobody can beat it. And so that's what is speculated that it's going to cost. And I think I'm not surprised. All right, Damilola says he's not surprised. Okay, that's a good place to leave it, Austin. We got to go. Maybe you'll be at the auction. I don't know.
No, Yemi, I won't be at the auction, but I'm just waiting to see who will buy it for. Now it has risen to $6 million. So someone buys that shirt and just keep it at home and I'm just looking at it. $6 million. Wow. It's a thriller in Manila. Even the fight theme itself, we still reference it, we still talk about it. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. You're giving us things to talk about even when you're not here. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now. All right, that's the show. But first, I want to thank Damilola Onifade for his time on the show today. Damilola? Always a pleasure. Maybe we'll do this again some other time? Definitely. All right. Definitely. I like extracting a promise. Okay, that's the show. We thank you for allowing us into your homes without knocking. It's a privilege we will never take for granted. Enjoy your weekend. You see us next week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.